All right. All right. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to index a picture to restrict it to colors for screen printing, and also how to make an underbase and when you need that underbase. So when indexing an image, you want to take the original image file, and I have one copied on my clipboard, so I can just open up a new document, create, and Control V to post my image. So to start things off, you want to extract the background from your subject. Doing that, I'm going to use my magic wand tool since it's a very flush background and there's no conflicting colors running into it. I'll just select all the areas, probably change my tolerance up a little bit so it selects more surrounding colors. Click, click, and click. I'm holding down the shift key to select multiple things at once. And I'll just hit delete and make sure your background layer is deleted. That way you have this nice image of Jar Jar Binks right in front of you. You're also going to want to use the crop tool to crop your image to the maximum width that it is. I'm using Alt to change both sides proportionately and evenly. So you're going to want to make it even on whatever side it bounds to. So right there, we are good. And when you're going to index an image, you want to make sure that your image size is the size of what the print is going to be. So for this, let's say that it's going to be a full front, 8 inches wide, and you want to make it 180 pixels per inch for your resolution. You hit OK. The reason that you put it on 180 pixels per inch is because that's the optimal pixel size for screen printing. When you separate it into the indexed mode, you'll see what I'm talking about, but that way that the screens can be burned properly and wide enough for it to actually get burned. If the dots are too small, then they won't burn properly and ink won't get through. So now onto the indexing part. We want to create another layer and move it down under your subject. Take your rectangle tool and create a non-dominant shape. A non-dominant color in your subject. So this one, I don't really see any blue. So we're going to take our brightest blue that we can get and set it as the background. You do this so when you go to separate them, it doesn't have the blue in it and it just leaves that out entirely, and you have a transparent image without a background, and it only takes the subject. So now we're going to go to image mode, indexed color. It's going to ask you to merge layers. Just hit OK. And now we start selecting the colors that we want. You want to go to the custom under your palette and move this over. So make sure you hit uncheck preview. Go to your custom palette and you want to select all of these and make them your background color. You just click on whatever color you want and then change it to that. And now one by one, we're going to select the most dominant colors in the image, and it's best to try and keep it to a minimum color so you use less screens and it's quicker to print, and sometimes it looks better, but not always. So I'm going to start by taking the yellow in his eye, maybe a darker yellow. You almost always want to take a white, the whitest white in your picture that you can find, which in my case would be this tan color, and then the darkest dark color that you can find, which will be black. So now we've got this kind of gold yellow kind of thing, but I'm actually going to get a lighter one. Right there's good because I have our kind of tan color working with us here. So now I'm going to choose the red of his skin. So we're sitting at 4 colors right now, and we can actually check out what it would look like. So if we hit OK there and we click preview, that's what our print would look like. So we're still missing a couple colors. I think the yellow in his skin right here and his teeth could be added into it. So we're going to go to custom again. We're going to take some of his teeth maybe some of this darker kind of orangish brown skin. Let's check out how that looks. So that looks all right. We do lose a lot of the red in his face. So we can actually probably substitute this gray kind of his teeth for something a little more lighter down here, like this orange. Let's see how that looks. I think that is a pretty good output for 6 colors on Jar Jar. So we'll just hit OK. And now it is separated into all these tiny little dots that'll make up the dots of screen printing. When they burn the film, it'll burn through these little dots, and then they can push the ink through those onto the garment. And now we're gonna underbase it. Well, the reasoning that you have an underbase is to make your colors appear more vibrant, so it doesn't blend in with the garment as much. This is usually used on dark garments, any garment that is really darker than the ink, and you really got to get a feel for it over printing on different colors and fabrics. It's a real learning experience when you go through it, trial and error. But when in doubt, make an underbase just in case. That way they can use it. The underbase pretty much creates a layer so that they can a layer of white that they can lay the ink on top, and it makes it more vibrant. But it also makes the print a lot thicker, almost like it's bulletproof. That's what I like to say. So we're gonna go into image mode, go back to RGB. We're gonna want to select color range and our background. Make sure your fuzziness is set on 0 so it doesn't select any other pixels. If you set it up to 100, sometimes it'll select some of your pixels in there. Click OK. And then we can go to Edit, Fill, and we're going to fill it with black. Now, what we're going to try and do is take our lighter colors and inverse them so they're dark. By doing that, we're going to go to Image, Adjustments, Channel Mixer. I want to set it on Preview and Monochrome. So right now we want our light colors to be closest to white. So our yellows, our light whites, even a little bit of our gray reds. So we'll just kick that up a little bit. We don't want everything to be too white, but we do want a good difference between the two. So this is these numbers 59, 41, 27 are usually close to what you want, but it varies on picture to picture, and it just takes practice. Then you click OK. And now we're going to want to invert by going to Image, Adjustments, Invert. And now you have this very scary and intimidating Jar Jar Binks. We're going to go back to Image, Index Color, check off Preview. And now instead of indexing multiple colors, we're just going to select our white background. And then we're going to want to choose one dark color. So I'll just choose a dark red. And this way it'll convert every dark pixel on here into that dark red color. Hit OK. Then we hit Preview. And there you go. There's your underbase. And you want to just save these under whatever your underbase is. Don't need you right now there. Don't show again. Save on your computer. So you're just going to save it. I do Control-Shift-S. And let's go. You want to save it as a Photoshop file. So we're going to say Jar Jar Binks index underbase. And you just save it. And then you want to move on to the computer. It's the old Red October computer.